Hey y'all, I'm Mandy.
I'm Carrie, and this is Monstrous. Hey y'all, it's Carrie. I wanted to jump in here and let you know we had some technical difficulties today with our mics. I'm not really sure what happened. I've cleared the audio up as much as possible, so hopefully you guys can still enjoy the cases that we have for you today. There's some background noise, and we had some issues with our mics cutting in and out. Not exactly sure what happened with this recording session, but in the future, we'll make sure we test everything and get it right before we start recording. I thought after last week's case that we should have something a little lighter this week. So after we touch on a news story that just broke last week, you're going to be getting a monstrous feature of the dark tale behind Disney's The Little Mermaid. Now on to this week's episode. The lady at the airport? Mm-hmm. Okay, so her name was Virginia Christine Vinton. She was 57. Her body was found in the baggage area at the Chicago O'Hare Airport, which is right over there in Illinois.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And this was last week. They determined, how do you say her cause of death, or her manner of death? Murder, suicide, accidental.
I'm going to go with suicide.
That's exactly what they ruled it as.
It was suicide?
Yep. They ruled it as a suicide on the 8th. That's when they found her, right? That was reported citing the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. So the manner of death is suicide. The cause of death would be hanging and asphyxiation.
Oh.
So on the 8th, she was pronounced dead at the scene about 7:30 a.m. our time. The Chicago Police Department had confirmed that to People magazine. She had been seen on video entering an unoccupied restricted area at 2:27 a.m. They had responded to a call of an unresponsive woman later on that morning. She had been found, quote, entangled in a conveyor belt system in a baggage room.
Why an airport?
No.
Why an airport? Of all places, an airport.
I don't know. I thought the same thing. She was from Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Wow. North Carolina.
So what she was doing out here.
Right.
And then commit suicide out here, I don't know.
It's kind of a travel.
She was not an airport employee. So she was just in the airport. Representatives of the examiner's office didn't immediately respond for more information. And it looks like that's all that's out there so far.
There's nothing else about her?
No, that's it. Her name, how old she was, where she was from. I know Nancy Grace covered it on her show, but I have not listened to that episode yet. Oh. I didn't get a chance to because with his football stuff. Mm-hmm. Didn't get a chance to. So I'm going to listen to that one and I'll update you.
Okay.
Along with everybody else.
I'm curious.
Here's a picture of her. And those are her kids and her husband.
Wow, that's so sad. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It says that she died in the airport baggage carousel. So the thing that carries it around. It was a suicide death, like we had said. She was discovered. It was the Delta airline baggage handler. He was preparing to load the luggage from a previously arrived flight at Carousel 11. So baggage claim 11.
Wow.
It says, quote, the handler began starting up the conveyor belt by swiping his airport ID and using his fingerprint to begin operations. As the belt activated and the small overhead door opened, the handler saw a woman standing at the entrance of the conveyor belt. The worker, whose name wasn't reported, was like, obviously, why is there a lady in the chute just looking at me? Like, okay, right. Maybe she's watching me and just observing what I'm doing. He asked the woman, do you want me to turn off the conveyor belt? While placing bags on the belt, he said he had an eerie feeling and called out to her, hey, are you okay? As he approached, he saw that she was unresponsive and had an electrical cord wrapped around her neck.
Wow.
They responded. They cut her down. Obviously, they were not able to save her, and she was declared dead at 7:55 that morning. So it says that the area where her body was found, a section of the international terminal filled with conveyor belts that transport luggage to and from the planes, was not accessible to the public. The bags in the area also passed through customs. Fire crews handed the scene over to the police investigators, and at the time of this article, it remained unclear why she was even there to begin with. The police have declined to comment any further on the situation. Like, it's just
baffles.
Yeah, I seen it come across my Facebook, and I was like, what in the hell? Like, why an airport? Like, I know things happen and, like, things hit you all of a sudden, but
an airport.
Why an airport?
I mean,
of all things. What could have happened?
Nobody's going to stop you there.
That's true.
Her family's not going to find her. Her friends.
That's true.
Her loved ones.
That's true.
It's a stranger that's going to find her.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's going to be there to stop her.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe it was a way for her family weren't the ones that found her, maybe.
Yeah. And for her not to be stopped.
Possibly. I didn't think about that. I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Okay, anyway. Your mic is sideways, by the way.
It likes it like that.
I don't know if it's going to matter, but just figure I'd let you know.
I want to say I'm broken today.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. So, after last week's story, thought we could do something a little lighter. It's not like super lighter, but it's a false tale, obviously. So, we all know the story of Ariel.
Right.
She wants to be human. She falls in love with the prince after saving him. She gives up her legs to be with him. She was like 15 at the time of the story, which that's a whole other can of worms. That maybe we can discuss on a different time, because I don't know what Disney's obsession is with young underage girls falling in love with much older men. Yeah, that's a theme in the Disney tales. Anyways, her dad changes her into a human permanently, and she lives happily ever after. Right? That's the story we all know. Well, I'm going to shatter the story of Ariel.
One of my favorites.
I have to live with it, and now you and everybody else does too.
Thank you so much for that.
You are welcome. The real story is not sweet and fluffy. It is a lot darker. There's no cute little sidekicks like Scuttle, Flounder, or Sebastian, no catchy songs, or a happy ending. Well, there might be, maybe, depending on how you look at it.
Oh, wow.
So, in Han's version, the Little Mermaid is motivated by fear and death rather than love. The Han's version is the original Little Mermaid tale. In this tale, it's suggested that the mermaid sisters are actually sirens that lure sailors to their death and into a watery grave.
Oh, wow.
This suggestion comes from an exploration done by the Greek reporter, where sirens were depicted as half bird, half woman creatures, and they later became women with fishtails.
Have you ever seen a picture of a siren?
Yeah, they're creepy looking.
They're creepy. They look nothing like what we grew up thinking mermaids look like.
They are so creepy. They have like sharp fang teeth. They're so weird. In Han's tale, the Little Mermaid is the most beautiful of her sisters with the best voice. And that seems to be along with the Disney tale. Mm-hmm. She's like the most prized one or whatever. But she doesn't use her voice in the way in which her sisters do. So, like I said, Hans Christian Andersen was the first known written down version of Little Mermaid in either 1836 or 1837. I've seen both years. Disney followed the same basic plot line, but Disney changed it and made it fluffy and sweet to be family friendly.
And innocent.
Yep. So, the original version of the tale begins with, quote, "Far out in the ocean, the water is as blue as the petals of the loveliest cornflower, and as clear as the purest glass. But it is very deep, too. It goes down deeper than any anchor rope will go, and many, many steep lists would have to be stacked one on top of another to reach from the bottom to the surface of the sea. It is down there that the sea folk live." Sweet and innocent.
Yeah.
Pure, wholesome story. That's about as far as the sweetness of this tale goes. Starts and ends right there. So the Little Mermaid lives with her 5 sisters, her father, and her grandmother.
Interesting.
Rather than the king having a rule about the surface, it's actually the grandmother's rule. She tells each of the girls, quote, "You will be allowed to rise up out of the ocean and sit on the rocks in the moonlight to watch the great ships sailing by. But they're not allowed to do this until they turn 15. This is how we know how old Ariel was.
Right.
Once it finally became her turn to swim to the surface, just like in the Disney movie, she sees a ship having a celebration for the prince's birthday, and a storm comes, which causes the ship to crash. And just like the iconic scene from Disney, she saves the prince from drowning, brings him to shore, morning shines through, and she decides she's in love with him. That's the part of The Little Mermaid I never understood. Like, Ariel is one of my favorite Disney princesses, but I never understood that aspect of it. You literally saved him from drowning.
And you fall in love.
How are you all of a sudden in love with him? I don't get it.
It's a fairy tale.
And it's a reoccurring theme.
Yes,
And then,
it is.
And I have to say, I hate it. Hate it so much. Like, I don't understand it. It's not how it works. Okay. Anyway. So Little Mermaid dives back into the ocean. Then she talks to her grandmother, asking her if humans live forever. Her grandmother tells her that humans live a much shorter life. However, when they die, they go to a place called heaven and get a second chance at life. But, according to his tale, Hans, mer people live for 300 years, and when they die, they turn into sea foam because they don't have souls.
Oh. What in the hell? Have you ever noticed, though, in the Disney princesses, they have a stepmom, they don't have a mom?
Yep.
So I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, it's because Walt Disney lost his mom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When he was younger. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's where I had read somewhere that he had lost his mom when he was younger. That's why a lot of the tales cater to them not having their moms. Oh. They have stepmoms, like evil stepmoms or something like that, or fairy godmothers.
So I wonder if his stepmom wasn't a very nice lady.
Right. But if you ever pay attention, that's why. So now I want to research and see if that's true.
Yeah.
But that's what I read somewhere.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
Disney's track record.
I know, right?
So Ariel wasn't going to have any of that. So she made her way to the Sea Witch, which, of course, is Ursula.
My favorite.
I love Ursula. The Sea Witch offers her a deal. But this deal doesn't have the catchy song, and it's a lot darker. She offers the Little Mermaid a potion that will turn her human for 3 days in exchange for her voice.
Right.
Classic. But the difference is, along with no voice, which was not taken out through a seashell or by her singing, the Sea Witch cut her tongue out.
Okay, that's morbid.
So she's also in pain.
Right.
Right? And then there's more pain to come. The Sea Witch offers her the deal by saying, quote, "I know what you want. It is very stupid of you, but you shall have your way, and it will bring you sorrow, my pretty princess. You want to get rid of your fish's tail and to have 2 supports instead of it, like human beings on earth, so that young prince may fall in love with you and that you may have an immortal soul. I will prepare a draught for you, with which you must swim to land tomorrow before sunrise and sit down on the shore and drink it. Your tail will then disappear and shrink up into what mankind call legs, and you will feel great pain, as if a sword were passing through you. But all who see you will say that you are the prettiest little human being they ever saw. You will still have the same floating, gracefulness of movement, and no dancer will ever tread so lightly. But at every step you take, it will feel as if you're treading upon sharp knives. If you will bear all this, I will help you."
Wow.
So for every step that she takes, it's like she's walking on knives.
For love.
Yep.
For a man she just met that she saved.
Well, technically they didn't meet, but...
Well,
yeah.
That she saved.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about all that.
So, she takes the deal. She swims to the surface, she drinks the potion, and she feels the dagger stabbing pain the Sea Witch described. She passes out, of course.
Right.
She wakes up, she sees that the prince has found her. Like in the Disney version, she's taken inside, she's groomed and dressed. With every step the mermaid takes, she must brace herself from the pain that she endures. Apparently, this entertained the prince.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yep. This tale is so fucked up, man.
Wow.
Like,
you just ruined my whole.
this tale is so fucked up. Told you, I have to live with it in my head, so do you. This isn't the only one. I got plenty.
Oh, great. Great.
I'll tell you about the Smurfs later.
No. You're not ruining the Smurfs for me. No.
That tale is so
I gotta
fucked
do
up,
Beauty
dude.
and the Beast.
Oh, I know. That one's going to mess me up.
I know.
That one's going to mess me up. Okay, anyway. So the 3 days pass, and the prince doesn't see the Little Mermaid as anything more than just an innocent child. Because that's what she is.
Right. She's 15, right?
Yeah. So that's what he sees her as. It's just an innocent, random orphan kid.
Yeah.
That's it. The prince ultimately does not fall in love with her, and instead he marries another woman who he believes is the girl that saved him, which in the movie is Ursula.
Yeah.
As someone else. So now that's all the Little Mermaid can think about, is how she's going to die and remain a sea foam for the rest of her life. At the break of dawn, she meets up with her 5 sisters who give her a dagger. And they tell her, quote, "Before the sun rises, you must plunge it into the heart of the prince. When the warm blood falls upon your feet, they will grow together again and form into a fish's tail. And you will be once more a mermaid. Haste then, he or you must die before sunrise."
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Little Mermaid is not all sweet and fluffy. Like,
not at all. I haven't found anything sweet yet.
the beginning quote of the story, that's it. That's the sweetest part of it. But in the end, she couldn't do it. She loved him too much to kill him. So instead, she throws herself into the ocean, waiting to become sea foam.
Just throws herself away.
Yep. Just throws herself off into the ocean. So here is where Hans kind of, I guess, sort of gives a happy ending. Instead of her becoming sea foam, as mermaids do when they die, because obviously she died, she becomes what is called a daughter of the air and joins a group of beings that, like mermaids, don't have souls, but unlike mermaids, can gain souls and enter heaven. A daughter of the air tells her, quote, "You poor little mermaid have tried with your whole heart. Your suffering and your loyalty has raised you up into the realm of airy spirits. And now in the course of 300 years, you may earn by your good deeds a soul that will never die." With another daughter of the air telling her, quote, "After 300 years, thus shall we float into the kingdom of heaven. And we may even get there sooner," whispered one of her companions. "Unseen, we can enter the houses of men where there are children, and for every day on which we find a good child, you can count 1 year less off of that 300. But when we say a naughty or a wicked child, we shed tears of sorrow, and for every tear a day is added to our time of trial."
She can't catch a break.
So basically, she can get into heaven in 300 years, possibly longer. It depends on how many good kids she finds and how often she cries.
I don't see how this is a happy ending.
That's why I said it really just depends on how you
Yeah.
look at it.
I don't see where there's a happy ending at.
I mean, she has the chance to get into heaven, which is what she wanted.
Right. Or take longer.
Yep. So I guess at least she has a chance to get into heaven.
Right.
So in Han's version, Ariel nor the Sea Witch have names, which is pretty common during the time in which this was written, because it's just a character in the book.
Right.
However, according to the Looper, there's a reason that Ariel doesn't have a name. And the reason is a dark reason. The reason Ariel nor the Sea Witch or any of her sisters have names is because she is less than a full person. This is due to the belief that mermaids did not have souls and could only obtain a soul by getting a human to fall in love with her.
Wow.
So because they're less human,
right,
they don't deserve names. Even though it's just a fairy tale. It's just a story.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. So, Disney adapted The Little Mermaid into what we know it is today in 1989. Which, this tale alone has won Disney 2 Oscars. And in 1990, the year after it was released, it had been nominated for a third Oscar that same year.
Oh, wow.
So in 1990, it won 2 Oscars and was nominated for a total of 3.
It's a good fairy tale.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
It's a good movie. I love it.
It's one of my favorites. I, for the longest time, thought that The Little Mermaid was a Grimm's Brothers tale. But it's
really?
not. Yeah, it's not. It's Hans Christian Andersen's tale.
You remember the dinglehopper in the movie? The fork?
Oh,
the
yes.
Dinglehopper? That's what I still call forks. Dinglehoppers.
Yeah. Logan used to love The Little Mermaid.
I love The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, when he was little, he loved it. Sebastian was his favorite. Whenever the song would come on, I would sing him Sebastian's song, and he would just
Even the new Mermaid that come out.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
It's really good.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's so good. There were a lot of people that were talking shit because of who, I can't remember her name, Haley something.
Yeah.
Because she's young, so she's only been in a few things that I've seen, so I don't remember her last name. But a lot of people are talking shit because she was cast as Little Mermaid.
I think it was more of a race thing.
Yeah, it was. It's because she was black. Who fucking cares?
Instead of just letting it be a fairy tale for all little girls, people brought race into it.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
Like, tell me how many people can hit a high note like that.
And she played amazing.
Oh yeah, she did so good.
So good. So good. And I think every little girl should have a Disney princess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody has to say. I think everybody, just like every little boy, should have a superhero. It doesn't matter. But adults ruin that.
They turn it into something that it doesn't need to be. Who cares?
They ruin it for kids.
Who cares? And something was said about her dreadlocks. Who cares?
I liked it.
Who
I thought she
cares?
did amazing.
I thought her voice was beautiful because I had never heard her sing until that movie.
No, I didn't either.
I thought she sounded amazing.
She did good.
See, The Little Mermaid, when I heard they were going to make a live action, I was kind of iffy. Just because the woman that was the voice of Ariel had a very high-pitched singing voice. Not many actresses can sing like that.
I was worried because, like, The Lion King, they did the realistic version of The Lion King, and I didn't like it.
I wasn't a fan of that one. They have a new one coming out. Did you see that?
Yeah. That's why I was worried about The Little Mermaid, but they did awesome, and she did amazing. Her voice.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing that had me iffy on it was, is the voice going to be right?
Right.
Are the songs going to come out the way they were in the original? Because if you don't get those right, you just mess up the whole thing. Because the songs are what makes it, and she did an amazing job. The only thing I didn't like, the colors for the animals weren't right.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I hated.
But other than that, I think it turned out really good.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really, really good.
I liked it.
A lot of the Disney movies are being remade now. Some of them aren't that good.
Yeah.
You should have just left that one alone, my guy.
There's some of them, because they're bringing them out of the vault and remaking them or whatever now.
Like, redo the cartoons. Don't turn it into a live action.
But some of them, they're making more adult-like.
Yeah.
Instead of making them children-like, like they should have stayed.
Yep, they should have stayed family-friendly, but live action.
Yeah.
Some of them, I'm just like, that one should have stayed in the vault as a cartoon. You shouldn't have brought that one out.
I agree.
But that's it. That's the dark tale behind The Little Mermaid.
You definitely ruined it for me. Thanks. Way to go.
You'll get me back.
Oh, yeah, with Beauty and the Beast.
There's plenty of them out there.
Oh, I know. I started looking into the Red Riding Hood one.
Yeah, you told me. I haven't looked into that one.
Demented.
I haven't looked into that one.
Demented. I'm not going to get into it because we'll do it.
Yeah, you have to
It will definitely ruin it for you.
Oh, God.
Very, very demented.
The original tale is dark anyway.
Oh, it's dark. It's dark.
How much darker can you get than a wolf eating a grandma?
I can't say right now because there's a child out here.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's dark.
That one's gonna fuck me all up, ain't it?
Yeah, it ruined it. Yeah.
Never look at Little Red Riding Hood again.
No.
I want to do Hansel and Gretel.
See, I haven't looked into that.
I want to do that one. Who leaves their kids in the middle of the woods?
It's 2024. A lot of people do.
That's true.
But I mean, do now.
I want to look into that one because that one was messed up too.
That would be a good one. But Red Riding Hood, Maybe I'll do that instead of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I want to do Hansel and Gretel because that one's dark too. Like a witch tries to eat them, and then after their parents left them in the woods. What's the original story?
Well, it's got to be. Okay, see, so look how.
Mandy just hit herself in the head with my planter. So. I don't know. I might leave that one in. Yes, that was great.
So look how the Little Mermaid was.
Yeah.
So imagine how that's going to be. And then when I did the Red Riding Hood one, when I started looking at that, I mean, that is demented. All I'm going to say about Little Red Riding Hood, it goes into torture.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're going to fuck me all up.
Yeah.
You make my insomnia worse.
Oh, girl, yes. You'll never look at fairy tales the same again.
All right, so I guess that's it. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us, and we'll be back next week.
Remember to watch for monsters.
And don't kill people. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Please be sure to rate and review so we can make sure we give y'all a podcast you love. Be sure to subscribe so you get notifications each week when episodes air.
If you want to send us a case or a topic suggestion, you can email us at monstroustcpod@gmail.com.
Also, be sure to check out our Facebook page for updates along with information and photos for each week's episodes.